Hello, welcome to Reading Sprints. It's weird, the sun's shining. What's happening? Can't get the light right in this room. Open and close it.
We're in the UK. What's going on?
I mean, I'm dressed like it's summer. This is why I look like I'm hardly wearing anything, but I'm showing you I'm wearing a jumpsuit. It's just kind of all the materials at the bottom of the outfit. Oh, joined by my lovely friend Paula tonight from Family and Books. People have probably seen you here before.
Yes.
It's lovely to chat to you. It feels like I don't know how long it's been. Has it been a few weeks since we've been on together?
It's been a few weeks, and you've like the thing is, right? Amy like messages me on Instagram. It's like, you feel like sprints tonight, and for whatever reason, Instagram does not notify me when I get messages. So I keep missing them, and I'm like, God dang it!
Honestly, my Instagram, when I open it, the little arrow thing that tells you you've got messages, that is always lit up. And then my heart one is never lit up, so it doesn't look like I've ever got a notification. So mine has the opposite problem. It doesn't recognise I have notifications.
Yeah. Sorry, Chris just brought me juice.
Oh, that's awesome. I love it. Can I just no, I don't have a juice person. My juice person is upstairs dealing with small person. I was just saying to Paula before I came on, we've been at a 3-year-old's birthday party, and pizza that was meant to arrive at 5:30 arrived at 6, so it kind of set everything back, and the kids were just being gorgeous and playing football in the garden, so we couldn't tear them away. So that's why I'm all flustered, but it's all good. We're here to chill, do some reading, do some writing. I've got a chunky book to read. Are you proud of me? It's a fantasy book.
Oh.
I'm really enjoying it so far. I actually understand it. Although it's sort of vampire, different houses, like different groups of vampires. One of them is called House of Night, and I'm like, haven't I been there before? Isn't that like the night school? Like that? I'm sure there is a House of Night series, isn't there? I think the PC Cast ones. I think it's not called House of Night.
Possibly.
Anyway, I felt there's a YA series so I think I understand it because it feels quite similar to something that the house side of it. So all the vampires come from different houses, and they're coming together to have like a Hunger Games style competition where only one of them can survive. And of course, the human girl's entered because, of course, this is what happens in fantasy books.
Yeah,
and she's got as good a chance as anyone apparently, but I have my doubts about her
chances. Is it by Carissa Broadbent? Because I think I've read it.
Yeah,
I haven't continued with the series, but I have read that one.
Yeah, did you enjoy it? Because I'm enjoying the beginning of it so far.
I did, but I think I unfairly rated it because I was kind of in a reading slump at the time when I read it. So I wasn't connecting with anyone, and it's like, I think sometimes that's just the way it is.
It is, definitely.
I mean, the story was intense. As you can see, it's a chunky book.
It is. And so far, I think I'm just getting the intro to the world bit. I've read about 50 pages, and not a lot of actual plot has happened. It's just been kind of setting the scene of this human girl living with kind of a vampire dad, which I quite dig. I kind of wish I had. I love my human dad. I kind of want a vampire dad to go with that as well.
It does get quite intense, and there is many twists and turns.
I'm just a bit confused.
I don't want to spoil it and just be like,
okay.
Yeah,
but she has this sexy vampire dad, and then sexy vampire love interest has just made an appearance, and I'm like, I'm really confused who's the sexiest vampire here. Like, am I meant to just find all the vampires sexy? Is that the point?
I mean, that's what we do, right?
I think so.
It's like, you're a vampire.
Rarely, the occasional vampire, though, like the vampires in what's that Josh Hartnett film, 30 Days of Night, not sexy. I think if they're the more like zombie, animalistic, sort of without human aspects of vampires, not as sexy. Maybe slightly sexy, still vampires. Let's see what the people in the comments are doing, and then we will go to what Paula is reading. I've shown you a little bit of what I'm planning to do. Oops, my mouse is jumping all over the place. Let's try leaning on something else. See you later, or see you now. Thank you, Paula, being on it when I cannot be.
It's fine.
Oh, thanks for hopping in. Hello.
Yeah.
Hello. I'm always so confused that it is morning. I feel like I'm just like winding down exhausted and there's people just starting their day. That's the beauty of the internet, isn't it? Oh, we've got Sharon and Sharon's sister. Hi, both. That's really cool. Hello. Yeah, I know. I nearly had one, Caroline, and then I bit my tongue and was like, no, I'm not going to do it because this is the first day of sunshine. I'm like proper sunshine. I'm not going to complain. Hello.
Hey, yeah.
Hey.
Hey,
I don't know why I'm just reading everybody's comments out loud. I'm really tired. What do you think of it, Nadine? Because that is the one that I own. Have you read Verity? I don't know whether we've had this conversation.
That's the one Colleen Hoover. And well, there's a few that I haven't read. I did go through a phase of reading Colleen Hoover, but I haven't read that one. I don't know if I will.
Well, that's the one I bought because it's about a writer, and I was like, "Ooh, I always like books that are about other people's writing." Maybe it's so I can procrastinate writing my own books. I don't know, but I'm just fascinated just to see what it's like. Like, is it the Writing Retreat or the Writers Retreat? That thriller that came out last year, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it wasn't my favorite thriller, but I love the writer side of it. I love seeing what other people do. I have never read an Ella Maven book. Have you, Paula?
No. Are you liking it?
I love that name though. Yeah, we need some opinions.
Hi,
Jess. Yeah, I think the majority. The only ones I can think of. The ones in Whiteout by Gabriel Dillon too are scary gore fest sort of vampires as opposed to sexy ones, I think. But
it's all Brad Pitt's fault.
Yeah. It's Brad Pitt. Gary Oldman doesn't do us any favors either. Like Gary Oldman out of a vampire costume, he's a cool guy, but put him in a Dracula outfit and ridiculous.
To be fair, there's sometimes in the Dracula movie where he looks okay, but then there's other times where he's like the old one with like the boob hairdo. You're just like, no.
It's pushing the bounds there a little bit.
Yeah, but when he's stalking Mina and he's just, just looks like a really pale human, you're like, oh,
when he's like, see me. My friend Amanda from the Fictional Hangover podcast dressed as him and does the see me bit and made us all really confused. It's like straight females looking at her dressed as Gary Oldman. We're like, we're really confused about how we feel now, Amanda. You've like messed with us. I just got really distracted because I was like, of course Sharon's reading a book set in a snake handling religious cult. I mean, that sounds perfect. Let me know, Sharon, if it's too extreme. What is your sister reading too? Is your sister an extreme horror addict like you? That is amazing to hear because I really want to read that. I've got it on my Audible and I think I'm going to finally work up the courage to read it because it's so long.
Do it. They're amazing.
I know. I love J. Christos writing, so I really need to. I really want to read those. I have the first book. How many times do I say this? I have that. I have not read it. The Faith Trials. I think. Do I have that? I'm going to have to check. Is that a recent one, Stephen, or is that one of the old school 90s ones? Because I have most of the 90s ones, I think. Kev went on a really specific list and bought me, but I say bought me, my money is his money. So, like, from our collective accounts, he ordered as many Buffy books as he could track down. And I think he liked mostly 90s, and then he kind of picked up the modern series, like the Crystal, what's she called? Why has my brain gone blank? She's not called Crystal Sutherland. Who wrote Kristen White? That's Kristen White. Crystal Sutherland hasn't written Buffy books as far as I know. And then the Kendara Blake ones, obviously, I've been reading. Oh, interesting. I'm going to have to check in the spring whether I have that one, Stephen. Rings a bell, but I'm like, I know I have a book with Faith on the cover, but I don't know whether it's that one specifically.
I think it's an old 90s one.
Is it?
I think so.
Oh, I really liked that. Is that the Amy Goldsmith one? I've just read her new one. Is called, oh God, what is it called? Why can I not word today? I'm right
there with you. It's so discombobulated.
I'm going to have to look it up. Is it Heat? Is it British people in Heat that we just suddenly forget how to string a sentence together? Let me see if I can look it up at the same time as talking to you. Amy Goldsmith's new book.
Possibly.
It was really good. It was.
Go on.
I'm just Sorry, I was just gonna. I can't see you, so I've got anything.
No, okay, well, I'll like, you can probably hear like Wyatt screaming in the background because kids, also heat and frustration. So it is what it is.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, to be fair, with mine, it tends to make him more. Some kids get really like floppy, don't they, and sleepy in heat. It seems to make mine really hyper and excitable. I've just looked at the name and instantly forgotten it's what is wrong with me. Our Wicked Mysteries. Our Wicked Mysteries is a new book that is coming out later this summer. It is really, really good. A group of teenagers who all go to this really exclusive school, as they always seem to in books. And there's one girl who is the scholarship student, and she kind of got on the outs with them because she made a really big mistake, as you find out as the book goes on. She kind of messed up, but then without giving too much away, it's not quite what it seems. And then one of the vanishes, and people start talking about the stories of a creature in the lake who's a woman from like Irish myth, because I think it's set in Ireland, and then it's this Irish ghost story about she's essentially like a banshee ghost type creature. It was really good, like those where you don't know whether it's supernatural or real. And yeah, I really enjoyed it.
You need to put a link in the private chat for me.
Yes, I will. Yes, I've got it on my TBR for this month. I'm really hoping I'll get to it because I've been a bit distracted. I sort of go through phases of getting blurb requests from publishers, which is really nice. But then it means that my reading is kind of dictated for me because I think, I want to read that. So I say, yeah, I'll blurb it. And then my reading is really tied down. So I'm not blurbing that book. It's already out. So I keep looking at it and going, do I just cheat and skip to it? But I know I won't get my obligations done. Ooh, I hope you enjoy it. I thought it was really good. It's really fun. For those who don't know, it's set on a cruise ship and people start disappearing, and the whole ship is kind of themed around Greek myths, and the main character starts to wonder if there is something there to do with that.
Okay, that needs to go on my TBR. Just give me a second.
Yeah, I read them when they came out, and I thought they were good. I wouldn't say they're my favourite Buffyverse books. I don't know whether you've read I think you've just said yes, you were excited to read the third installment. Yeah, I think, in my opinion, I prefer the Kendara ones, but I know that's off of personal taste. Just finished it. Any recommendations? Please let me know. Oh, yes. Okay, any more recommendations like Those We Drown? So that is the one set on the cruise ship. Do you know what? There's one called Lying in the Deep, which is also set in a cruise ship that I haven't read yet. I feel like it might be by, I want to say Diana Urban, but I think if you look up Lying in the Deep cruise ship YA horror, I don't know whether that one's paranormal or not, but it sounds really interesting. It's got a great cover. It's sort of got a porthole side of the ship cover, and I think it's got like a bloody handprint on it or something.
What was the one that we read for book club? It wasn't like a horror, but I think they were they on the Titanic?
Oh yeah, that was good. What was it called? It was by. Why can I not think of anything today?
Same. It's like when someone asks you questions
was it A Million to
One? Yes.
Yeah, it was a heist, wasn't it?
Yeah.
A heist on the Titanic, which is a really cool idea. Excellent. Yeah, I really want to read those. I've heard that they're great, and Robin Stephen seems like a really lovely human. I've met her at a few book events. She's really good friends with an author friend of mine. So we cross paths every now and again, and she seems absolutely lovely and really kind of keen to amplify other people, even though she's done super well. Yes, Sharon's ahead of the game. We got there in the end. Thank you, Sharon.
Sharon's always on it.
I feel like Sharon is just really kind of calm in the face of, I think I fall apart way too easy. I'm like a bit of heat, and I'm like, oh no, I can't even function as a human today. So I'm going to be doing a bit of writing, a bit of plotting, and hopefully a bit of reading this book. How about you? Are you reading anything or something?
I'm reading Mooncakes for book club because I should have read it last month.
Did you just say Mooncakes? Because when you said Mooncakes, my brain turned it to Moonpig and got really confused.
Mooncakes.
Yes. Is that a manga?
It's a graphic novel.
Okay.
And we're having the talk for it this Sunday, so I really need to frickin' read it. I'm also reading Tempest of Tea, which is the vampire book by Hafsa Faisal. It's getting intense.
You know what I'm going to say,
also...
don't you? I have that. I have not read it. I have it. I've not read it. That's the story of my whole life. Are you enjoying it? Is it good?
Yeah, I mean, it's taken a little while to get going. But yeah, it's getting good. And I'm also rereading Ready Player One because it's one of my favorite books of all time. So why not?
I'm just trying to think whether I've actually read it or whether I've just watched the film. Like, I'm really
How
confused.
dare you?
I know. That isn't something that's happened to me very often. I know Kev's read it, which is again unusual. I feel like I must have read it and given it to him thinking he will like it, because otherwise why has he read it?
It's just all 80s like, you know, nostalgia in one book. It's just great. I love it.
I thought the film was really good. I'm going to bring up Kay's comment. I'm not going to read it out loud. I don't think I could say those 3 words together with a straight face.
What's the title?
Yeah, I'm glad
please.
Thank you for saying it. Yeah, I think Sharon has the right idea. Sharon is winning it today. I mean, it seems like the kind of weather for those. Why can I not say it? I was not a grown before.
I mean, I've read Ice Planet Barbarians. I think it'll be like 2 books
is that what
that series. I don't
is
think
that what
so.
That is?
No, because they're aliens. They're aliens, not giants. So
did you blink and miss the ice giants, Martin? I managed to say it with an almost straight face. Oh, I finished rereading the Invocations. Really? That's interesting. Do you know, I noticed some typos in the physical book of that, so I wonder if they're also in the ebook or whether these are different typos. I'm almost surprised when there are typos in finished books, but I know that there's, I don't know about the book 2 of Mina, but there's a very small typo in book 1 and 3, but the book 1 has been corrected now. So in I think it was in the first print run, and then it isn't in the future ones. I was really annoyed. I found one in book 3. I was like, oh my God, just when it's gone to print. It was like a word ending the wrong verb tense or something, because I think I must have changed, you know, where you change a bit of a sentence but you don't remember to change the rest of the sentence. I think an edit got shoved in and the rest of it didn't happen, but it is what it is. But I'm always surprised. I get when there being a couple, but lots of edits, it's always a bit of a surprise because so many people check books. Yeah, I mean, it's sort of seasonal, kind of.
What's the title, Kay? Don't believe in us.
Yeah, no, don't
gatekeep. Hanging.
Yeah, we need to know. Oh, interesting. So different typos. Yeah, actually, to be fair, I know that the Mina files with the typo in book 1 had to be done separately, so it must be separate files, the ebook and the PDF, says the nerd. Sorry, I'm always interested in stuff like that. Like, oh, what file did you use?
It's easy to report typos in digital ones, though.
Yeah, and I think that it's obviously.
I rarely find typos because I'm dyslexic. I'm just like, yeah, that's the way it's spelled in my head. That's fine.
Well, it depends how you read as well. Like, I think I often scan for meaning, like overall meaning, rather than reading slowly. So I think I probably miss quite a lot too, but I do proofread as well. So if I turn on my proofreader brain, all of a sudden I'm like, hang on, is that the correct verb form? And the author's probably like, I don't care. You're reading too far into this. Hi, Chris.
Hello, Christopher.
Right. Nice chatty comments tonight. This is what we like. So I need to wander off and I put my laptop there. I'm just completely scatty today. So I'm going to grab my laptop. Probably, I think I need a cup of tea just to kind of steady my nerves. I know it's hot. I know it's hot. I just need tea. One is the plaque that June's argument at the end. Oh, and it's really, that is so weird. Oh, Wed to the Ice Giant. There you go. That's your Ice Giant title.
I'm writing it down.
Yeah, that's a really strange typo. It's almost like that's something that's not pulled through, right, isn't it? But you'd think that in a finished ebook, I know that NetGalley sometimes converts stuff weirdly, so I've had some strange typos and capitalization. Yeah, not normally in a finished book. That's interesting. I wonder if the NetGalley version got put up as the ebook or something weird like that.
Strange.
Interesting. Hopefully they'll get that sorted. Okay, so I'm gonna mute us and run a MIGT. Oh, there's loads of them, but they're short. So if you wanted to tick off your reading targets, I mean, Sharon's outed her sister on the internet now. Like, that's it. Like, you can't go back now. This is what Sharon's sister likes as well. So you've got a recommendation there.
To be fair, we all, well, I read everything, so I really don't. I read a bit of monster smut. I'm quite happy with it.
I didn't read that much of it. I've only really accidentally read smut before, and then discovered that I really enjoy it generally, like the Anne Rice books, where I was like, this is just gonna be a normal Anne Rice book, isn't it? And it was The Claim of Sleeping Beauty, so it was quite intense. And yeah, I generally find them pretty fun. Depending if it needs to have a story as well. I know that's not the point of smut, but I don't think I can cope if it's just.
Yeah, there's got to be. It's like, even though it's a smutty book, it's got to make sense to the story. It can't just be sex and sex and sex and sex and sex. It's got to make sense with the story for me.
Yeah, like I like it in stuff like, say, the True Blood books. Like, if two characters have got a really intense connection and then something finally does happen between them, like, oh yeah, I can appreciate that. But sorry, I was just reading ahead comments. Oh, okay, Stephen understands. Honestly, right, I'm sure I've told this story before.
I accidentally read smut.
Yeah, right. So my friend told me that 50 Shades of Grey was a werewolf book before she'd read it, and before I'd heard, like, this was when they were like brand new. So I downloaded it.
Became a phenomenon. Yeah.
Yeah, downloaded it, started reading it, and I messaged her halfway through, have you started this book yet? Like, there's no werewolves.
No werewolfs. It's not fantasy or paranormal in any way.
Well, she confessed in the end that she'd got the wrong book and told me the title. I was like, are you sure? Or were you just having me on? And I did end up sitting and reading all 3 books. So joke was on her. Yes, I thought, oh, good, Anne Rice, some nice vampires or werewolves or, witches. But instead it was just lots of really kinky sex over and over again. I didn't read all of the books. I think I just read the first one. I bought it on holiday.
One Anne Rice thing that I've not read. Well. So.
Well, you haven't read that one. I feel like
I haven't read the Beauty trilogy. Chris has read it and he has it.
Yeah.
And he's like, read it. And I'm like, maybe.
It's quite, I don't know. I can't really explain it without just being really graphic. It's quite strange with it.
I've heard the plot is a bit batshit.
Yeah, the plot is, and the actual relations between characters are as well. It's not like straightforward, smutty from what I remember. It's quite weird. Yeah, it happens. It does happen. And I think sometimes I've gone into YA sections and been like, I know, I have not read that, but I know you should not be there. And I do always tell the booksellers, like, because, like, for example, the other day, I couldn't find this particular Waterstones had said they got my books in stock, and then I couldn't find them. And they'd been put in the middle grade section. And the staff member just said it must have just been one of the new members of staff who just misshelved it. So misshelving my book isn't going to hurt anybody, I don't think. I might scare some children. But misshelving smut is probably a bit more of a grave error, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, with Jay Kristoff kept getting, like, hate mail from parents and stuff saying, like, how could you, like, do this? Because booksellers were putting his book, Empire of the Vampire, which is an adult fantasy that's, like, got gore and, like, sex and all the stuff in it, and it's like, well, they were putting it in the YA section, and it's just like, it's not his fault. There's, like, booksellers are not putting it in the right section, so leave him alone.
I think the confusion is that he often writes, like, kind of crossover stuff, doesn't he? Like, his other stuff, I would say, was adult, but kind of, was it the Nevernight? Nevernight was always called?
The Nevernight series was, like, it's like there is sex but it's like Fade to Black kind of. Yeah. But there's definitely gore in there. But he also wrote the stuff with Amy Kaufman, the Aurora Rising series and the Illuminae files. So, and they're YA.
So I think they all get kind of bracketed together, don't they? And I think that's why certain authors, like, I know my friend Mia, she writes under M.A. Kuznia for her adult and then Maria Kuznia for her children's, just that then it's not as easily Googleable. Like a parent accidentally ordering some, like, kind of nice, sexy romantasy instead of another nice book for their child. I think you'd know though when it arrived, wouldn't you? Like you'd think that if Empire of the Vampire arrived and it's like this, you wouldn't go, "Oh, good, yes, I'm going to give it to my 12-year-old." It doesn't look like a book for 12-year-olds to me. Maybe on a Kindle you could be misled, but
I don't know. There's some chunky books for like young adult. I mean, like the Eragon series. It's like those books are huge.
I couldn't get through the first one for that reason. I'm not a sort of slow, ponderous book person, and maybe they're not like that, but that was the impression I got from the beginning, and I just kind of stopped and didn't pick it up again.
Yeah, I read the first 4 books, and I just got so bored. Just like I don't need every blade of grass explaining to me. Thank you very much. Just get on with it.
I'm assuming some people that's exactly what they want, but for me, I just need the plot to move a little faster. Yes, I think unhinged is the word. That succinctly explains the claiming of Sleeping Beauty, in case anybody's wondering, the Anne Rice books, but writing as, is it like Rockler? She writes under another name. You'd be able to
AB something, I think.
See, once I was in a Waterstones and saved a parent from this. I overheard a parent saying, "You've read Twilight. I think you would like this," holding it up to a teenage daughter, and I was like, "Have you read it?" And she said, "No, I haven't. What is it?" And I was like, "I'm going to tell you in code, but the story being don't buy this for your 11-year-old, you know." I read Interview with the Vampire when I think me and my mum reckon I was 10 or 11 when I read that.
I read it very young.
I think I probably didn't understand a lot of it, so it's fine. Oh no, that is really weird. I can't imagine that. I just don't. I mean, if you want to make that book any weirder, get a sweet little lady to read it. Like, sure. It really annoys me when it's not the author's fault when that happens. Like, that's just a marketing thing. Like, I know certain books that have been marketed in a certain way as well. Like, it'll say, I don't know, Heartstopper meets something else, and it's nothing like Heartstopper, and people get annoyed. But that's the marketing decision. It's not anything to do with what the author's written. Oh, is that what the definition of rockalair is? That's really cool. If it is clever. Yeah, I mean, Into a Vampire at 12, it didn't scar me for life. So I think it depends on the kid, doesn't it? Like, I read the Sweet Valley University books when I was really young. I'd read all the Sweet Valley High ones, moved on to university, and they were quite a bit sexier. And I think my mum read one and was like, well, she really wants to read these. She'll tell me if it isn't what she wants to read. And I did want to read it because I liked the murder stuff in them. I just didn't like the sexy stuff. I kind of glossed over. I liked the other adult content.
I think when I was younger, it's like barring like the Making Out series, I think I just jumped from like reading middle grade straight to like Patricia Cornwell and and like Anne Rice and stuff. It's like I didn't, because when I was younger there wasn't that much YA around. I mean, it's like, I'm old.
This is fair. It didn't score for less as horror author. I mean, it's funny. I did a panel with the Taste of Darkness authors, and I think the most of us together there were about 7 of us at the Scholastic event, I think. And one of the questions was, what horror author inspired you? And we were all like, well, I read Stephen King when I was 9 or 10, and I'm fine. And we were like, oh, wait, hang on. maybe that explains a lot. Hi. Right. You're just a mindful gamer, because we are going to go to a sprint. We've moved through quite a few subjects in this introductory portion of the discussion, from Ice Giant to Anne Rice smut. There's been a lot of smut, really. Is this your influence, Paul? Like, I don't read much of it. So you come on screen.
Smut.
I think that's just the correct progression, Sharon. I think that should how it goes. Like canon tween development, like Nancy Drew. I feel like I've just said hello. I'm not going to say hello to you again. I don't know what is wrong with me tonight.
No, I think is said hello here and then is on my sprints as well.
Oh yeah. Cool. Thank you for saying hi on both of us. You're very lovely. I'm just can't follow logical thought tonight. Nancy Drew. I did buy it. They've done like a Nancy Drew bind up recently, and I still haven't read it. I bought it, didn't read it.
I didn't read Nancy Drew until I was in my 20s and then got obsessed with Nancy Drew.
Yeah.
I think it's like the older I get, the younger I read.
Yeah, I know. I was
and then throwing smut and horror.
Yeah. That's fine.
It's all good.
I remember we, at about age 12, we discovered, what is it, Mills and Boon. One of my friends had like a Mills and Boon store, so I don't know whether it was her mum or her grandma or something. She used to bring them to school, and we'd stand in the playground reading bits of them, like, what does that mean? What does that mean? That's gross. And
well,
yes,
when I was younger, it's like my grandma, she knew that I read, and she bought me like a load of Mills and Boon books. I've never read them, and then I've never read them, but I've kept them. And I found a load the other day, and I was like, should I read them for a video? I'm just like,
I think you should. Read one and see what you think. Don't commit yourself to reading 20 or anything.
No, I think I've only got about 4.
Oh, okay, that's all right. Then maybe that's manageable. Okay, I'm going to mark where we're up to in the comments. It's been a lovely chat so far, but I think we need to do something. Let's go and sprint and calm down. I'm going to go make some tea, and we will see you in 40 minutes. No, not quite sure where that time went then. How did you get on?
Good. I got to 45% in mooncakes. I hate reading on my phone because I keep getting interrupted by notifications and messages and things. And it's just like, I'm trying to read, people. But
how do you find reading a graphic novel? Do you have to zoom into little sections, or can you kind of read it the whole screen?
When I'm reading it on my phone, I tend to zoom into I tend to let it zoom into sections and read it that way.
Okay.
But, you know, I'd rather be reading it physically, but I've bought so many books lately and it's free on KU, so why not?
Yeah, I've got KU and then proceeded because it was a 2-month free trial. I've just not used it. I'm not really reading on my Kindle that much, so I think what I need to probably do is I'm going to try and read some books on it next month. I don't think I've got time this month. And then cancel it, I think, just because I'm not sure I'm going to use it, which is sad because I think it would be good in principle, but there's so many kind of physical books and proofs to read as well.
I go through stages of binging KU. The thing is, I would read it on my Kindle, but my Kindle's the Kindle Oasis. The graphic novel's in colour, so I want to read it on my phone.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But I like the Oasis because then I don't get any, notifications or any outside distractions when I'm reading it on my actual Kindle. But... yeah, I go through fits and stages when it's like I'll binge read stuff on my Kindle and then I'll, have to read physically or audio or, tandem read, all the things.
Yeah, I was reading Kindle while I was laying with Nathan at bedtime. I'm kind of not doing that now in the same way. So I've lost my Kindle reading slot of the day, and I think that's why I'm not using it because I'd got used to using it then.
Mm-hmm.
So I maybe need to figure out when is my Kindle time. I love the Oasis though. I think that's my third Kindle and it's the nicest one to me in terms of the clarity of the text and the way you can make it warm instead of too bright. And click again. Thank goodness for the button, the return of the button. It's so good. I think it's the nicest one, but like you said, it's not like is it a Fire where you've got the colour and you can read graphic novels.
I've got a Kindle Fire, but it's just so slow. It's a really old one, though.
Yeah, I mean, can you read them on an iPad or anything?
I can, but my iPad is now Wyatt's iPad.
Oh, yeah. See, this is our problem. We have one iPad in the house, and it technically was bought for Nathan. So I'm like, well, I do use it for some stuff, but and I've edited my videos on it and stuff like that. But that's only when the child is asleep. Otherwise,
so Wyatt has 2 iPads now. Well, the thing is, it's I had an iPad and we got Wyatt an iPad, but no, he needs 2 iPads.
Of course he does. This is child logic, isn't it?
Yes. well, when the battery runs down on one,
I
need to have the other one on standby because if he doesn't have his Hey Dougie or instantaneously for him to have meltdown.
Yeah, that's like Bluey in our house. Bluey cures all ills. For adults too, to be fair. I quite like Bluey. I did. When he went to nursery the other day, Bluey was on and I didn't actually turn it off. I just left it on for a little bit while I was tidying up. And I was like, this is just nice. I want to live in the Healer household.
I think Bluey's more for adults than kids.
It is.
But Wyatt's just not obsessed with Bluey. It's like, we'll try and put it on and get him interested in it. But he's just like, no, I want Hey Dougie. And that's it.
I mean... Nathan has obsessions, and does Wyatt kind of have the trait of having hyperfixated obsessions?
Yeah, Hey Dougie, that's it.
Yeah, yeah, because I've taught children with autism before, and is it autism?
Yeah, he's non-verbal autistic. Yeah.
And generally, one of the really common traits does seem to be affixation, and they can be really random, or they can be kind of child appropriate obvious ones. I remember one little boy was really little and he had an obsession with Indiana Jones and it was really cute, but would be doing anything, and if you said a word that had a vague Indiana Jones association, it was like snakes, he'd be like, oh, Indiana Jones reference. And I'm like, it wasn't, I was just talking about a snake. Yeah, it's all good fun. We definitely watch 99% Bluey and 1% Disney, basically. And actually, to be fair, the occasional bit of random kid YouTube that is like children playing with toys, which kids seem to really like watching. But I don't get that. Hi. I mean, yeah, I can imagine that. This is your cult book. I think that we should just root for the snakes.
To kill them all.
I do. I really like snakes. It's like, when they do, I don't know whether you've taken White Paula to any of like those, like, or been to animal handling experiences. They occasionally do at farms and stuff.
My brother has snakes, so.
So White's been there, and Nathan's fascinated. So I've kind of had to do I'm not scared of snakes. I'm going to hold a massive snake thing, and actually I discovered that I quite like them. Like I don't mind them.
The bigger the snake, the less bitey they are. To be fair, the more chill they are. It's the small ones that are just like.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Kind of like dogs, I know some big dogs.
Yeah, fair.
Like little yappy dogs. They're like little yappy snakes. Such a thing. Danger noodles.
Danger noodles.
Oh. Focus mode. See,
I do that occasionally.
I need to try this. I probably should. Like, to be fair, sometimes when I'm writing, I think I need to just turn my phone offline because it's such an attention. Like, I go to Google something, and like you said, a notification gets me, and then that's it. Like, I'm genuinely doing book research, and then before I know it, I've gone down.
You can put it on like do not disturb mode. I did it yesterday, but today I was just like, I'll just read, and then apparently everyone wants my attention when I'm like, not reading, but when I'm not reading,
it's nice to be needed.
Where are they? Where
and
are
appreciated, I guess. Yeah, I need to try my son's iPad for reading. I do. That is great, Sharon. Have a Kindle for every occasion. See, one of my Kindles broke. I feel it has the look of something that's got dropped, and I feel a small person might have dropped it. And then the first one, I think, just got really old and so slow that it couldn't, like, you'd turn a page and it'd worth like several minutes and then turn the page. And that's when you've got to call it quits. Ben and Holly. I need to try Ben and Holly. Like, I've heard that it's good and like a nice one to watch. Because a parent friend told me Bluey is the thing because it's actually really watchable. Because Nathan was really into Peppa Pig, and that's not as watchable. Like, I can watch small doses of it, but it's
I'm
not.
I'm really glad he's not obsessed with Peppa Pig because I can't stand it. But hey Dougie, it's like we can sit and watch the episodes, and they're funny as well.
It's really fun and really cute, isn't it?
Yeah, when he's watching it on his iPad, he kind of like he scrolls through the episode and kind of stims on like certain parts of it.
Okay.
It's like he'll stim like when a character says a certain word, and he'll just say the word like over and over and over again. He'll just back it up and let them. It's cute, annoying but cute.
Isn't that kids in a nutshell? Annoying but cute.
Fair.
Yeah, I'm really in a book period, and I think it's because I do the thing of seeing it on Instagram or TikTok, so I end up ordering the physical book just because I want what they have. Like, I see that thing and I want that thing too. I don't know. I think I'm like quite suggestible when it comes to books. Like, I could just think, actually, shall I see if it's 99p on Kindle? But my brain just goes straight to order the book. I'm trying though to use the library and buy Kindle books more.
Yeah, I mean, I just bought 8 books. And basically the World of Books has a deal on where you buy 3 and you get the 4th one free. And I was like, I bought some, and then there was like, space. So Bram, the eldest, was just like, well, can I have a book? Because I went through and like unhauled some of my books, and he went through that before I think it, and then like, because I'd only have like 1 or 2 like in the series, and he's like binged through them all, and he's like, I need the rest of the series. So like, okay,
see,
fine.
How can you refuse that? I mean,
I know.
I took a few books of Nathan's back to the library, and he was like, but I really need Nabil Steals a Penguin. It's this really cute book about a little boy who like accidentally steals a penguin, and it's lovely. And like a slight broken heart that I couldn't keep out of the library long. So I thought, I'm just going to buy this book as well. Like, I can't refuse a book that's bringing me such joy. Oh, the cat's telling us to get back to work, I think. I'm just going to stop it. Hang on.
Shush, cat.
Yeah, I think I would do the same, but maybe on purpose. I'd leave my phone on focus mode and just like never go back to reality. Yeah, I'm gonna have to try this Ben and Holly. I don't think we've had this on in our house. Like, I'm aware of it, but
I'm not. It's completely new to me. Is it on iPlayer or?
Sounds like it might be an iPlayer thing. I'm gonna have to look it up. Maybe test it first though and see if we like it, because you don't want to introduce it to the small person and then them love it and us be like, oh no, we did this to ourselves. Which is what I did to Peppa Pig instantly. I introduced it and then regretted decision.
Immediately. Yeah.
Sure, Peppa Pig World is really good. I love the theme park and I can watch small doses of the show, but I think any more than that is not as enjoyable.
I think Wyatt would get too overwhelmed at the theme park though. So, but you know, we try and with like the amusements at like Filey and stuff.
I'd say Peppa Pig World's not the most overwhelming because it's quite spread out and there's lots of nature around it. I'd definitely have a look at like videos online and see what you think. But yeah, there will be like the overlapping sounds and stuff like that of certain rides. So it might be that you can still hear the noise of one thing when you go on to the next, which could be like a bit of a sensory overload. Yeah, it's not the most kind of flashy, whirry, overpowering stuff. It is quite like old school, like there is just a giant plastic pepper next to a little train ride and stuff like that.
I really want to take him to the deep because he really loves water and all that stuff. But the last time that we went to the deep, it was absolutely heaving. It's like there was hardly any room to move. So I'm like,
it's not been that bad when we've been, but I seem to think we went mostly during the COVID stuff, like you know, when a lot of stuff was shut and things like the deep were gradually opening, so it was pretty quiet because we got an annual pass and then proceeded to like binge visit because it was free then for the next year. I think every ticket is an annual pass. So yeah, it'd be interesting to go back now that they're not under that, because we do have a penguin fan and they've got penguins, so we might need to go and appreciate the penguins. Right, I think it's time to do some more work. I need to go and find my copy of Save the Cat, which I've left somewhere, because I'm going to do some plotting, I think, in the next one. So I'm going to disappear, find my plotting book, and then we will reconvene in a bit. Are you continuing to read the same, your Mooncakes?
Yes.
Excellent. I think I marked where we're up to in the comments, so let's pop on with the sprint. And we will see you in a little while. Hello.
Yeah.
Hello, hello. How did it go?
Good. 83. Got to 83%. Almost done.
Nearly there. I reckon you'll get that done last time. Have you enjoyed it?
Yeah, it's really cute and quite amusing. So glad we get to talk about it in book club.
That's good. You say that's on Saturday?
Sunday.
Or Sunday? Oh, so you're getting it done plenty of time.
Yeah.
I'm usually the one who's like my own book club. I'm reading stuff on the very last day just because time, life.
Well, it's time, and I like to keep it fresh in my mind, because if I read it earlier on, and if I make the mistake of not taking notes, then I'm completely screwed. I'm like, I don't remember anything. I've read 6-7 books since then. But okay.
Yes, I have been there with mine as well. And yeah, I normally try and eke it out over the month, but then I find that I do often run out of time and I've got half the book left in one day. But I've always got it read by, that is very motivating, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Reaching last minute. Yeah, I did some plotting. This book is weird because I'm trying to plot it more. Normally I get to this point and I've already started writing because I get too excited and I'm like, I'm just going to plunge in and see what happens. And I'm trying to rein myself in and properly plot this one. And it's not my style. So I'm like, I can feel my brain fighting against me. But my instinct is, I think it could be a potentially complicated plot. And I just think that it's sort of probably more of a mystery than anything else this time.
What style is it, like, that you have an issue with? Can you say, or not say?
No, this isn't anything that's got a book deal. It's just something that I'm toying around with, but I'm trying to figure it out. I'm like keep it close to my chest until I know. But yeah, so I think it's just that normally if I've got like a little gap, and it's not a big issue, it's just a gap, like I can't figure it out, I just write it and see what happens. But I'm just thinking, I've got to save a little time to write. Let's just try and plot it out rather than having to figure it out later. If I can figure a lot of it out, I don't think I'll figure everything out now because I'm still me, but I'm just resisting my urge to dive in, which is hard because it's what I've done. But this is like a new thing, so I feel like it's the Mina books I did in a certain way, and I'm like, I can try and do something different with a different thing, if that makes sense.
I mean, do you think you could ever like dive in and then go back to the plotting process, or?
Possibly, yeah. I think I'm going to try like the 3-act plot, and the first act I think has kind of come together. So I'm wondering if I'm going to have a few days, I think, of like going over, because what I've done is put it all on a spreadsheet. I don't know whether you've seen the Save the Cat. It's like 15 beats plot. I've put the 15 beats and like notes of what each one is, and I'm thinking that I can just populate that as I have ideas. And I've written some really random stuff, like just fun scenes that don't actually mean anything yet, but they're just fun things I want to write so far. So I think I'm going to have a few days of going over and over it and trying to flesh out as much as I can. And then, like you said, I think start writing, because that will then trigger the rest of it, hopefully.
Okay, cool.
Have you done much writing? Like, I know you've done some.
I did stuff when I was a teenager, and it's like, then I think I was trying to do like NaNoWriMo one year, and then life happened. So yeah,
it does need to do that.
Yeah.
And I think the hard thing with writing, when you've got other hobbies and when it is a hobby, it's hard to prioritize it. Like when I prioritized writing, I was like, right, I'm going to get an agent, I'm going to try and get a book deal. My reading just went poof. So you've got to kind of figure out if the writing is a thing you want to do. It's like carving out the time for it, because now it is a job, and I have got it, because this book I haven't got to get it done. Like I'm not under deadline or contract or anything, but I know that I need a next book. I've got a book for next year, but I need a book for the following year, and therefore I need to probably get a book deal for that book this year or next year. And it is the way publishing works, isn't it? It's got to be so far ahead.
I mean, Chris wants to write, but every time he starts, like, life happens, and it's like he's taking care of me, a disabled partner, and we've got an autistic 6-year-old, and that kind of like gets in the way of quite a lot of things. And it's like, it's one of those where it's like, well, you need to carve out the time, but when he's actually got me time, like, when I'm all sorted and situated, and and when Wyatt's in bed, it's a time where, like, you could be doing something towards writing or doing whatever, and it's just knackered. And just like, I just want to be able to turn my brain off. I don't want brain to be working anymore, which honestly, I totally get.
That was my whole problem with the Mina books. I like the first book and probably the second to some extent. I did them like that, where I was writing on an empty tank at the end of the day. And by the third one, I was like, this isn't actually sustainable anymore. And I just had to figure out.
Had you had your little one before Mina?
Yeah,
or
so I was pregnant when I got my book deal. So basically nothing happened for ages, like until he was born. I think I got my first edits, like literally he was born, and then weeks later my agent was like, I'm really sorry, you probably don't want these now, but here are your first edits. And publishing has just continued to be super inconvenient because that's what it does. Like, I know that I've got edits due end of May, and I could actually do with having the summer holidays to work on them, but of course that's when I'm doing childcare, so it never quite fits exactly when you want it to, but you just, I know that I'm super lucky and it's what I want to do, so I've just got to make it work. So yeah, Nathan basically has been here. He was this big when I got my book deal. Yeah, but he's been there all the way through, so I've had to just book 2 was during his naps, because he napped while I was writing book 2, so that was helpful. Book 3 he didn't nap, so I had to find other, but I was working less days by then, and he started nursery, so it kind of, other parts of my day freed up.
You just have to find the time. Yeah.
Yes. Time and motivation, 2 difficult things, especially when you have a child, difficult things. Let's see how the people in the comments are doing. Then jump. Yes, the deep, it is a disappointment for a lot of children that they can't swim in the tanks. I think mine quite liked to just get in the penguin egg closure and slide around on his tummy. I kind of wanted to do that as well, to be fair, let's be honest. Hello. Hi. No worries. There are no times here. I want to know the same thing too. Excellent. I love that title. It keeps popping up. I want to know more about that book. I know, right now, remind me of it. Haunted Roads of Britain. That sounds good. Oh, love a bit of pink. Do you know what? I love like black and pink together, like, the cute goth thing.
Yeah.
Is kind of, I've never really wear it. I don't think pink really suits me, but I love it when I see somebody like pulling off the cute goth look. I'm always like envious.
Yes.
I really need to read it as well.
It was Laura's choice as well.
That's really cool, Paul. Oh, that's funny. It's always the way, isn't it? That's cool, Sharon. If you ever want me to read any, let me know. I've tried poetry. I'm not very good at it. I tend to go like schmaltzy and sentimental and like pretentious. If I try and write poetry, it doesn't feel real to me. Whereas fiction does. Like when I write fiction, I feel like I'm writing something that feels real. Poetry.
Yeah, I found some of my old notebooks from like college and teen years, and just looking at like the poetry and the really deep thoughts that I had. I'm just like, oh my god, you angsty little shit.
Oh, I found a notebook and it was so embarrassing. I should have kept it, but I think I actually like got rid of it, ripped it all into tiny threads, because the poetry was all like about like there's some like linking death to the seasons and like life withering like winter, and I was like, oh my god, 15-year-old me was so pretentious. I don't even think I was at the time, but I think my poetry, I thought that poetry had to be pretentious, so I think I like leaned into that. Oh, that's exciting. What are you having done? Have you decided? Okay, that's interesting. I'm not surprised, Sharon. I'd have been surprised if you'd gone, actually, mine is super cute and like fluffy.
I'd love that for Sharon. Just completely 180.
No reading shame here. We know.
As long as you get it read by Sunday, when we're actually talking about it, that's fine.
Oh, the joys of reading. Too many things, not enough time. Oh, the key was about to buzz. We've talked the right amount of time this time. Right, let's put 30 minutes on. I know, shocker. We're watching Donnie Darko randomly, of all the things. Kevin and I have both not seen Donnie Darko for like probably decades at this point. So we decided we're going to rewatch it. It's super weird, but I'm enjoying it. So I think I'm going to move that way. So I'll probably not be on camera. Watch Donnie Darko, and so are you going to try and finish Mooncake?
I'm going to try and finish Mooncakes, yes. But I need a little bathroom break also, so
okay,
it's all good.
Yes. So Paul and I will both disappear for the sprint. We are here, I swear. I'm watching Donnie Darko and sewing a horror cross stitch that I'm still doing. I'll show you when I come back.
Cool.
We'll see you in 30 minutes. Hello. Just a bit of an intense moment with Donnie Darko. Then I was like, oh, not the cat. It's really weird. I'm enjoying it, but it's so strange.
It's been a long time since I've seen Donnie Darko.
Yeah, there's a lot forgotten. Like, I forgot it was set in the 80s. I don't even know whether I realised. I mean, I must have realised the first time because the dates like come up through the film. But yeah, I recommend watching it, but you've got to be in the right mindset, I think, because it's just like melting my brain.
Mm-hmm.
And I do my cross stitch, which is taking me so long. I literally am I don't even know whether you can see it, hardly working on it at the moment, but these are my little
cool.
I like Lego style. And it's really cool, but I do it like once every couple of weeks if I remember. I really like it, but I've just not got time. So yeah, I'm trying to do little bits when I remember that I've got it to do. But have you managed to finish your book?
I have. I'm at the end of the book now, where the author's just like chatting about like how the story came about and stuff like that. So I'm just reading that, and it was so cute. I loved it.
I think I need to read it. I've seen it around lots of the time, and I think like the cover just made me want to read it. It looks so like, is it really wholesome?
It is. It is so cute. Read it on KU while you still have it.
Do you know what? That would be a good use of KU, wouldn't it? Because it's like actually something quick that I can read. I keep downloading stuff and it's like a really long thriller that I'm just not going to get a chance to read. And no, I just know I'm not going to get that much chance to use it. So this is your tattoo. Oh, everything that makes you you. I like that.
Do you have an Instagram, Kay? Because I'd love to see it.
Yeah, feel free to share it if you want to share. Yeah, I don't know. The name rings a bell, but I don't know much about her. I think I'm going to have to look it up as well, Sharon.
Same.
So that's a Triflers Need Not Apply. I feel like was she from the American West or something? Am I thinking of somebody else? I might be thinking of Belle Starr. I think that's a different person. I'm just turning somebody else historical into a serial killer. Excellent. I think that we're going to be going to bed very shortly as well. I'm getting really tired. Just want to do a tiny bit more of my cross stitch. Thanks everyone for coming on. It's been lovely. Thank you, Paula, as usual. I think I need to have a quick tidy up and then bed.
Are you not going to finish the movie?
No, I've got too much of it. Like, we've got about maybe 50 minutes left to watch or something.
I always have to finish the movie. I can't sit down and then not finish the movie.
We always watch films in parts just because of the way like our evenings work. Generally, both of us are doing stuff till about 9 p.m. So it'd just be too late to watch a full film unless we take a night off work, which rarely happens. Too much to do. September, it should change. Things should start to shift a little bit more towards working in the day, but we shall see. But thank you. I'm going to go and call it for tonight, but hopefully we can all catch up soon. I'll definitely do sprints next Thursday. I will probably do them on another night as well, so if you're interested, watch out for that. And
I'll be sprinting on Monday as well.
Oh, cool. Yes, awesome. Check that out.
It was nice to see you there Monday.
Yeah. Oh yeah, did I manage to pop?
You popped in for a little bit, yeah.
Yeah, I like watching you game. It's very soothing.
So chill.
Yeah. Right, night everybody. Thank you.